Hey there, and welcome to today's video. For today's video, we are going to be taking on Lilsimsie's Spooky Shell Challenge. Now, this one actually came right at the perfect moment. I hadn't even seen the video that Lilsimsie had uploaded for the Spooky Shell Challenge before I actually saw it. I actually saw it pretty much when it was uploaded to the gallery. It was a moment that I was actually saving last week's build, and then the Shell Challenge just happened to show up on my gallery, and I've been wanting to do a challenge for a bit, so I figured, why not? But man, was this challenge a thing. In case you're not aware, a shell challenge means you can't touch any of the outer walls. You can do whatever you want with the existing space, but you can't add walls, you can add half walls, you can add fences, you can do basically whatever you want as long as you don't move what is already existing. So right away, I saw that there was this 2x1 hall that was going to be awkward to make, let's say, into a closet or something, which had I done that area as a main front door, it could have been a matter of, well, maybe that's outdoor storage. That is something that exists, even though you don't see it a lot. But what I ended up deciding on doing was actually a triplex. I've been wanting to do a duplex or a triplex for a bit, and I thought that the way this house was actually laid out was perfect for something like this. And since it's a spooky shell challenge, I figured there's nothing spookier than converting a perfectly usable house into 3 units. Now, the thing with a triplex itself is where you're going to have the entrances. Typically, depending on the type of house it is, some of the staircases might be on the outside instead of the inside, for example, to try to get access without having to completely ruin the inside. But I figured this was probably something that was done quite a while back, and B, something that was done to do the bare minimum on the upstairs units, which you'll definitely see with things like the tiles and the wallpapers, but also made with having the main unit be the one that's renovated. So ideally, I would have even had a basement. I probably would have extended some of the main floor, probably would have extended some of the upper floor, but that is definitely going against the shell challenge, and to me, it's also going against the challenge if you put a third floor or if you put a basement on it. I feel like the shell challenge is you have to work with what you were given. There's no basement, you don't do a basement. If I was going to do a third floor, it would have to be something that's completely for decorative purposes, not something that is actually going to be usable. So there was no need in doing that. And with outside spaces, I ended up giving the main unit a bigger backyard than I was actually expecting. I really wanted to make it a 3-bedroom, but with the layout that I had to be able to get these units upstairs, I wasn't really going to have anything to do with a 3-bedroom. But all units do end up having a bit of their outdoor space. There's 3 units in total. There's a main unit, which the kitchen ended up being kind of weird, I do admit that, but I was kind of inspired by butler pantries, I guess we could say. So the kitchen itself is actually behind a door. It's not with the rest of the living area. But what they do have in the main living area is more like, let's say, a bar, pantry, basically where you would be serving the food, not making the food itself, which in older houses is not uncommon to see. At least I've seen it in a few older houses. So I figured this would work, especially to be able to get the layout the way I wanted to with so many angles going on here. And with the bedrooms themselves, I really wanted to get a half bath somewhere, or at least something for the master bedroom, but that was just not going to work out. So they have their own little wing where the bedrooms are, along with the bathroom. If I tried redoing the layout a couple more times, maybe it would have worked out, but I actually ended up being quite happy with the way these units ended up looking. I don't think it's like anything I would have built normally, so that's definitely something I really enjoy about these shell challenges. Now, upstairs was the layout that I decided to figure out first because I knew it was going to be tight. And along with tight, that roofing was definitely what was driving me up the wall. And there was a certain section that I couldn't really figure out how I wanted to do the roofing without it looking completely out of place. So I ended up putting that unit's outdoor space up there, basically. They end up having a bit of a balcony, which I wouldn't be the most comfortable with if I was the one that was actually living in this place, because the balcony actually actually overlooks your personal backyard, which I would assume that the owners of the triplex are the ones that live in the main unit. If they're renting the whole thing out, then by all means, I wouldn't care. But realistically, maybe this should have been where the front is. I just wanted the front to be where I actually put it because I wanted this house to have one area for the main entrance and another area for the 2 units that would probably be what's rented out to some tenants. Now, along with that, these units were actually a lot smaller than I was expecting. When I was first doing the stairs, I was mainly working just on the first floor and I kind of thought it was going to be the same layout on the top floor, but it ended up being a lot smaller than I expected. So one of the units I wanted to be a single bedroom. It was very close to being a studio, but since this unit actually had quite a bit of the angled walls, it allowed for a diagonal bedroom, which you actually have more space in than if it was a regular square room. So this allowed me to have an actual bedroom in there, but there's not a dining and a living room. It's just a dining area there. I figured being a single bedroom, it wasn't too much of an issue anyways. You have kind of like your entertainment area, and then where you have your living room with your TV, that's basically in your own bedroom. This looked very much like a house for an entertainer that doesn't rely on a TV. Let's put it that way. The second unit though, I wanted the unit with that staircase to be one that was going to be a 2-bedroom. But again, this was a lot smaller than I was expecting. Surprisingly enough though, I was able to fit a little bit of a living room and a little bit of a dining room along with the bedroom. Since I was able to put a bunk bed, I really debated putting 2 beds, making this kind of like a super crammed unit. But there wasn't a dining table in here originally, and I really wanted to give the kid at least a desk where they could do their homework on. So it ended up being a unit for 3 Sims, basically. So all in all, this was actually built with up to 9 Sims in mind, but you can only have 8 in a household. So it's quite the possibility that you could have a 4-person household and then rent the other 2 out. I believe that comes with, was it Discover University where you could get roommates? I can't remember exactly which pack was the one that let you get the roommates, but you can use this unit with that in mind. That's kind of the point of a triplex, not to have your own household be all over, but to have tenants, basically. But we are getting close to the end of the video. This one was actually something that I've been wanting to build for a while, and I think this shell gave me the weirdness that I needed it in the layout. So I actually think it turned out quite alright, but do let me know down below what you think of it. Let me know what you'd like me to try out next, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a great weekend!